So there was a recent statement that was in some controversy because it's a statement that means this year is probably going to be the craziest year in AI so far, and probably every year after that. But this one's pretty crazy. You can see right here that someone is claiming that Dan Schulman, the former PayPal CEO, was talking about the impact of AI and stated that GPT-5 will be a freakout moment and that 80% of the jobs out there will be reduced 80% in scope. This is a pretty bold claim with some pretty wide-reaching implications for the entire industry. Whilst the clip doesn't actually state that GPT-5 will be a freakout moment, what I'm guessing happened is that he stated that, and then this person started recording this. So take a listen to this.
5% of their work will go away. So think about that. That's gigantic. If you're already using Code Assist or Code Whisper with your developers right now, and probably many of you are, you're already seeing a 50%.
Now, whilst this honestly was quite a terrible clip and it wasn't that great, I think that this clip does have a lot of merit because I do think that if GPT-5 is even a fraction as people claim it to be, and when I say as people claim it to be, I'm currently regarding the current members of OpenAI, including Sam Altman and the VP of Product, because they're basically stating that GPT-4 is absolutely useless. For someone who admires GPT-4, and for someone who uses it over the other state-of-the-art models and uses it on a consistent basis, for someone to state that such an amazing tool is awful really means that our perception of what is great is going to be changed monumentally. Now, let's actually really analyze this clip. Okay, GPT-5 is going to be a freak-out moment. We've analyzed that, but 80% of the jobs out there will be reduced 80% in scope. Now, the thing you need to know is that not every job is related to AI. So this is a bit of an exaggeration, but this does probably impact the jobs that are on a computer. I'm guessing that this is referring to agents, which we will dive into later. Now, there was also another rumor that I'd love to discuss, and whilst this might just be a rumor, but I do think that this is pretty crazy. So there's a third-hand rumor going on that Sam Altman thinks GPT 4.5 will automate 100 million jobs globally. Now, this is really huge to even think about, so the first thing that we have to think about is the magnitude of the impact. Now, this number constitutes 3% of the roughly 3 billion global workforce, which is pretty crazy. Now, the time frame for this impact is actually quite conservative. The statement points that 0.5% of jobs would be automated annually over 7 years, and this gradual implementation actually suggests a more manageable transition for the global economy compared to immediate large-scale job displacements. OpenAI actually also did do a research paper. This was released in August 2023, where they essentially investigate the potential impact of LLMs, and it's pretty fascinating. They state that our findings reveal that around 80% of the US workforce could have at least 10% of their work tasks affected by the introduction of LLMs, while approximately 19% of workers may see at least 50% of their tasks impacted. They state that we do not make predictions about the development or adoption timeline of such LLMs. This spans all wage levels, with high-income jobs potentially facing greater exposure to LLM capabilities and LLM-powered software. You can see here that it says, we conclude that LLMs such as GPT exhibit traits of general-purpose technologies, indicating that they could have considerable economic, social, and policy implications, meaning that we are about to enter a paradigm where every single AI release could potentially impact the entire labor market in a way which requires different policies to be made, different social implications, and, of course, the labor market fundamentally changing. So, these are definitely some crazy statistics here that I think, whilst yes, they are conservative for the paper, maybe at the time of writing them, they didn't take into account some of the things like GPT-5 and just how good that system would be. Because it was only recently, after the system finished training, that we did get clips from Sam Altman stating just how crazy the comparison is between GPT-4 to GPT-5. Now, in addition, Sam Altman did say that jobs are definitely going away. Full stop. You can see here that Altman was blunt about AI's impact on employment. He does note we'll probably replace these jobs with new, better ones, but says we're being unrealistic if we pretend this isn't going to affect things. He says the probability is greater than ever that we'll see a massive impact on jobs in the next 2 to 3 years. So, 2025 and 2026, when GPT-5 and GPT-6 are here, that's when we're truly going to see massive changes in the labor market. So, of course, he tells what to do about it. He says it's time to stop ignoring AI's possible impact on employment. We're already concerned about AI's potential power, yet it's still very early. To date, AI models have largely been trained on text, and they are now quickly learning from other types of multimodal media like code, images, videos, audio, and more. This will very likely rapidly result in significantly more powerful and capable AI systems. So, overall, we do know that Sam Altman has said that jobs are definitely going to go away. Full stop. So it's important to understand that that takeaway is there. Now, if you're wondering how is this all going to change, you have to know that basically OpenAI has shifted their focus. OpenAI has shifted their battleground to software that operates on devices. Essentially, OpenAI are basically just trying to focus on agents. And this is because when we saw the demo of Devon, we all realized how crazy it would be if this was something that was actually effective, something that actually worked, and not just a 13.86% in terms of the benchmark, but imagine it got to 100%. How would that fundamentally change things if it could really do any software engineering tasks through browsing, unlike any task that a standard software engineer could do? Now, the thing about agents is, I think GPT-5 release will be the most impactful release ever, and you don't have to take it from me. Take a look at this. It says OpenAI's plans for an agent that takes power over people's computers. It will require the user's permission to work, to operate in a personalized fashion and respond quickly the way Apple Siri does on the iPhone. The prospective OpenAI computer-using agent may need to be partly stored on the user's devices. The company may also need to get permission from users to train the software on personal data, such as individuals' emails and contacts, as well as information stored in business apps like Word and Google Docs. Now, that isn't the interesting part. The interesting part is that, as you can see here, this is from a secret presentation given by Sam Altman, and this is pretty crazy. So we've got 1, multimodality, 2, reasoning, 3, personalization, 4, reliability, and number 5, being AI agents. The reason this is so crazy is because I think agents is being left for GPT-6. Because if you check the trademark GPT-6 and GPT-7, you could see that there were artificial intelligence agents. So I don't think we're going to get agents yet, but I think if we take a look at the fact that multimodality means that we're getting an AI system able to handle many different forms of content, like images and video, and I think right now OpenAI are working on scaling up their video technology because Google Gemini really did make some breakthroughs in terms of how much video they can analyze. So I'm guessing that they want their systems to be state of the art, and that might be a bit of the reason for the delay. Then comes part 2, the reasoning. I think the reasoning capability is probably going to be the biggest thing because it means that these AI systems are going to be a lot smarter. And if these AI systems are a lot smarter, it means that they do have a lot of bigger applications because it then means that they're going to be in newer industries where they weren't before, which means that we're going to see more widespread adoption. Then comes personalization. Now, this is for the average person because you use it on a day-to-day basis. You want to have the AI system to know exactly what you do on a day-to-day basis, but I think the reliability and the reasoning are probably going to be 2 of the most important things because reliability is something that if you're working with a giant company at scale, you don't want your AI system to get a few figures wrong. You don't want it to recall an incorrect value because you can lose money, and of course you want it to be smart enough to be able to reason and of course correct itself and be able to be 100% accurate. So, this is it for today's video. See you again next week with another video.